Society has often confused being a good woman with being endlessly patient, nurturing, emotionally instructive, forgiving, and willing to help a man grow. There's a difference between building a man and building with a man. If you have to build that man, you essentially are creating a personal development program for him, and that is not your role. If you're new here, welcome to Heal the New Sexy, where we discuss all things healing, self-love, and relationships. My name is Cynthia. I am a licensed therapist and coach, and I want to say this. A man's personal development is his business. I want to be very clear that you as a woman in a relationship or dating, you can help, you can encourage him, right? You can inspire him, you can support him, you can celebrate his growth, but you are not responsible for developing him. His childhood is his responsibility. His emotional intelligence is his responsibility. His communication skills are his responsibility. I work with women who tell me, Cynthia, he told me like he didn't know how to love. He didn't know how to be in a relationship. Now, as a woman, right, I find this very odd because he's been in multiple relationships. He may have even been married before. And how is it that he comes to you and he tells you that he doesn't know how to be in a relationship? I did a video for the membership. You might want to join the membership. You hit the join button below. And I think I titled it, If He Doesn't Know How to Love, Don't Teach Him. I find it very odd that a man can be in multiple relationships and not know how to love. And let's not even just say romantic relationships. Let's say relationships with friends, with family, and then he comes to you and he tells you he doesn't know how to love. That man absolutely does know how to love. He does know how to he does know how to communicate. He does have relationship skill. What he's telling you is, I don't want to provide that here. It's quite easy to say, I don't know. So he didn't get a coach. He didn't go to therapy. He didn't pick up a book. He didn't listen to a podcast. He doesn't know. He hasn't done any of those things as it relates to a romantic relationship, but he expects you to teach him how to be a husband or how to be a partner. That's not your job. His personal development is his responsibility. It's his. If a man can come to you and tell you something that he doesn't know how to do, then he also has the capability of discovering and figuring out how to do it. And sometimes I've gotten pushback, even from my coaching clients, as it relates to that. Do not partner yourself in a relationship with a man that's telling you that he doesn't have the skill. Don't do that to yourself. You yourself may have been parentified. You may be the eldest daughter. You may have experienced trauma. And you saw, the reason why you're watching this video is because you have sought out understanding for yourself and even for others and how they show up in relationship. You have gone and invested to get the skill. Why would you then connect yourself with somebody who's not doing the work? I want you to think of partnership like this. There is a certain criteria that has to be met in order for him to be your man, your lover, your homie, your friend. If the man doesn't meet the criteria, then he can't be your man. Many of us were raised, and even society has pushed that you don't have any standards. That's why they fight against your standards. That's why I did the video about shrinking for love. That's why I also did the video about why every woman should date selfishly. And I got pushback for that. Because when you start standing up and saying, listen, in order to be my man in my life, this is what I want. This is what I'm going to accept. Society has an issue with that. Because how dare you? And don't bring in the fear mongering, you think you're all that, you're going to die alone, you're going to have a whole lot of cats. Your biological clock is ticking. Oh, no. Don't bring into that. Don't bring that up. Don't bring in when he tries to weaponize. Oh, I thought you were a wife. I thought you was going to be wifey material. So when you decide that there are boundaries around your emotional labor, your physical labor, your mental labor, now all of a sudden there's this pushback. But he can show up to a relationship with no relationship skill and you're supposed to develop him? No, ma'am. That's not okay. That's not okay at all. And a lot of men are waiting for women. They already know they already know that they can go from one relationship to another and there's going to be a woman that's going to show up attempting to teach them. And guess what? When she gets tired and she leaves, he could go be in another relationship and it's going to start the cycle all over again. That's called weaponized incompetence. And there are some men that show up in early dating engaging in that behavior. Or everything was okay in the honeymoon phase, but then when it's the second phase of the relationship, the second stage of the relationship, He's saying he doesn't have the skill, and he may not have the skill. There are some men that know how to get in a relationship, but they don't know how to maintain a relationship. Now, when you see that he doesn't know how to maintain the relationship, then there's some decisions that you have to make. Is this place safe for me? Is he providing care to me? Or am I the only one doing the emotional work and the emotional labor in this relationship? If he's never done his work before, that may make him an inappropriate partner for you right now. And many women have a hard time walking away when they identify that he's an inappropriate partner for them. They want to buckle in and keep doing the work. That's not for you to do. That's not for you to do. Many of us were taught to ask if he is a good man. But another question I want you to ask is, does he currently possess the skills required to be a healthy partner to me? Dating means collecting data. Is he a healthy partner to me? Not he has the potential to be. Good intentions is not a skill. I want to make that very clear, because we're like, well, he didn't intend, he didn't meet. No, good intentions is not a skill. Potential is not a skill. Being attracted to you is not a skill. Being nice to you is not a skill. Wanting a relationship is not a skill. He has to be actually able to participate in the relationship. He has to. He has to. Women are often praised, right, for the amount of developmental labor they perform for men. That's where mothering comes in. One of the Hill Squad members is like, can you go deeper into mothering him? Because I'm always raising him. If you got to help him get the skill, then you are mothering him. Now, this is the thing. There are some jobs that train you on the job. There are other jobs that you got to come meeting the criteria. I, as a licensed therapist, a fully licensed therapist, there are certain positions that are not even going to consider me if I don't meet the criteria, meaning if I don't have the license. Why are you allowing a man into your life where you have to teach him how to show up as a partner? Now, I'm not telling you that you don't teach a man how to love you. Let me change that. You should teach a man how to take care of you specifically, because what his other woman needed and wanted previously may not be what you need and want. So that's your responsibility. But what you're not supposed to do is instilling in him that how to be emotionally intelligent, what emotional intimacy is. Those are not things that you should do. You shouldn't be teaching him how to apologize. You shouldn't be teaching him how to not invalidate what you're saying. You shouldn't teach him that he should be curious about you. No, he should come with relationship skills. See, if you're providing developmental labor for him, then that's something that he was supposed to learn from his mother, from his father, from his parents, from his therapist, from his coach, from the books that he reads. Quite often, women romanticize, or society will romanticize for us, sacrifice. The whole movie Baby Boy was about that. If I just hold him down, if I just practice, being patient for him, society will praise you for being patient for that man. Oh, she was a good woman. I will never forget when Desi Banks was on, what's his name? Shannon Sharp's podcast, and was talking about how, he was doing his skits and he wasn't working and she didn't hold him down. Society praises that. Well, man, if she would have held you down, look at what she would have received. Why does a woman have to suffer with a man? Why are there not men coming to relationships ready to partner? And you have to ask yourself that question. And you also have to ask yourself, what conditioning are you operating through that you are willing to be in a relationship with a man that you have to build him, not you guys are building a life and building the relationship. You have to question why your emotional labor is called love. Why your ability to tolerate a man that is unfinished is considered evidence that you are a good woman. Many of us have drunk this Kool-Aid that being a good woman means self-abandonment and self-sacrifice. That's why a man who doesn't have relationship skills can come in your life telling you what it means to be a good woman. Meanwhile, he doesn't even know what it means to be a good man or to be a good partner. How can he come into your life telling you what it means to be a good woman, but he is not showing up? carrying his weight in the relationship. He does that because he knows that you will begin to tap dance and perform for love, because women have been taught and conditioned that we need to perform for relationships and perform for love. That's what we were taught from childhood. He wasn't taught that. He was taught being a man is enough. That's what he was taught. And there are some women who've invested so much that you don't want to give up the relationship. But meanwhile, you're not being poured into. You're not being seen. You're not being heard. Your needs aren't being anticipated. There is no reciprocity. You are not receiving care. And you cannot afford another relationship in which you're not cared for. You're trying to identify why you're having all these health issues, why you using all this Korean skincare, but your face still puffy. It's because you are pouring into a place that's depleting you. There's no return on the investment. There are some men that I was listening to Dr. Eric Thomas this morning. And I really appreciate Eric Thomas because of how he takes care of his wife, Dee Dee. He shares the story about Dee Dee she has some health issues. I don't quite remember what it is. And they were living in Detroit, and because of the weather, it is hard on her body. And so he said, they went to California one time. She enjoyed it in California. And he said, I got to work so that Dee Dee can have a home in California and also in Detroit. See, there's something, the women that I work with specifically as a coach, I'm teaching them that care is a necessity. It's a non-negotiable. It is something that you need and you must require and have in your relationships. And the reason why I am teaching women this, even here on this platform, is because you need a man that's going to treat you like Dr. Eric Thomas treats his wife, that he understands that it's important for her to be comfortable, that he doesn't want her to suffer, and he doesn't want her to struggle even when she has a health disorder. I'm going to make my wife comfortable. I'm going to make my girl comfortable. What's his name? Bishop R.C. Blake shares a story that when the hurricane happened, Hurricane Katrina, that when his wife, Lisa Blake, said, you want me to go back to work? He said, no, babe, I'm going to figure it out. I'm not going to make her have to work. See, many of us have been conditioned that in relationships, we have to give without receiving anything back. But there are men out there that are ready to partner with you in this thing called life. They're ready to dote on you, care for you. They're concerned about you. You don't have to give all of this labor in exchange for love. They're ready to come into your life and love you. They see you as a person. They understand your worth. They're not coming in your life depleting you. And then when you start putting up boundaries, then they want to tell you that you're not a good woman. Oh, I thought you were wife material. No, they're not trying to manipulate you. I'm going to do a video for the membership called when he uses marriage as a carrot, CARROT, KARAT, like he ain't trying to give no carrots. Okay. So you might want to join the membership for that. So there is a difference between building with a man and building a man. So building a man sounds like I need to teach him. I need to help him mature. I need to show him how to communicate. I need to help him understand women. A man who telling you he don't understand women. And we got all this information. And you know what? I really feel like there is intentional negligence for some men, because there are so many conversations that women are having online about how they want to be treated. And there are some men that are still talking about, so women want a man that makes 6 figures and is 6 foot. And I'm not that. I'm a good guy. You can't be a good guy if you're not being intentional to understand women. Can't be. I also see sometimes, women talking about, I want this, and then a man getting in the comments, no, you don't want that. You want... Building with a man sounds like, right? Let me get to my notes. Building with a man sounds like we both know how to communicate. We both know how to take accountability and responsibility. We both know how to repair after conflict. We both know how to regulate ourselves. We both know how to show up. We both have individual goals. We're bringing 2 functioning adults into the relationship and creating something together. There's a difference. We both have relationship skills, and we're coming together and we're building a life together. Not I'm building him. Not that. See, when you build a man, you're developing the foundation. When you build with a man, you're constructing on a foundation that already exists. And I'm not saying that foundation has to be perfect, because people are quick, oh, nobody's perfect. There's a difference between building with a man who's done his emotional work, who's resolved the issues of his childhood, who is standing on his 2 feet as an individual, versus he hasn't resolved that. And so he hasn't resolved his heartbreak from when he was in the 5th grade. He hasn't resolved the things that happened to him that weren't fair, the trauma that happened to him. He hasn't resolved that. So now maybe he was a veteran and he served in combat. He had an unhealthy relationship, a toxic relationship with his child's mother or his ex-wife. He hasn't resolved that. So now you guys are trying to, you can't build from a deficit. -1 + 1 = 0. And you looking for a hero. What are you doing? You cannot afford to pour into a man that is not willing to pour into himself. Many women who have been parentified or went through trauma, you have an enormous capacity for love. I work with women that are like, Samithia, I have so much love to give. But you're pouring into a space that's depleting you. I know you want to, the girl's like, I want to be a lover girl in my relationship. I want to be soft. I want to be feminine. But you can't be that with a man who doesn't have relationship skills. You can't provide him emotional support. You can't do that because he's going to keep taking. That will cause you to overfunction in the relationship because you're regulating him. You're motivating him. You're organizing him. Why are you writing his resume? Why are you reminding him to go to his doctor's appointments? Why are you reminding him that he needs to pay his child support? Or why are you paying his child support for him? Why are you reminding him that he needs to go see his kids? Why are you coordinating for him to go pick up his kids? Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And then you find yourself exhausted. Exactly, because you are living for 2 people. For some men, they don't even have life skills. Why? No, ma'am. A good woman is not the woman who can tolerate the most. And many of us have been taught to tolerate a lot. A good woman is not a woman that's endlessly patient. She's not a woman who sees the good in everybody. Now, maybe she is. It's okay to see the good in everybody, but it's not okay to continue to be in a relationship with somebody. I don't care if it's family or a friend. You see the good in them, but they continue to disappoint you and frustrate you. You show up for everybody, but they're not showing up for you. You show up for him, but he doesn't show up for you. You clap for him, but he's not clapping for you. No, ma'am. You're the woman that stays through everything. I remember, again, Bishop R.C. Flakes talked about early on in the relationship. Lisa Blake's left. Tony Gaskins talks about early in the relationship, his wife left. His wife left him twice. Once as a girlfriend, also as a wife. This I need to hold him down mentality while sacrificing yourself? No. No. Think about the neural pathways that are being created in your brain every time you stay through disrespect. I did a video, I'll put it up here, specifically about disrespect. Wives that are disrespected or mistreated in their marriages die earlier than women that are single, and earlier than women that are in healthy relationships. This is a life or death type of situation. A woman who sacrifices herself, right, to help somebody else become whole, that's not the definition of goodness. And we have to stop allowing people who want to take advantage of us define what goodness is. Essentially, what they're saying is, I'm going to use goodness, the term goodness, to get you to perform for me and get you to abandon yourself because I want to take advantage of you. I don't care about your mental health. I don't care about your physical health. I don't care about your financial health. I only care about how I can benefit from this relationship. So you as a woman are now anticipating everybody's needs. You're giving everybody the benefit of the doubt. You explain their behavior, except instead of leaving the relationship. I always say, if you're watching my videos to be better understanding so you can stay in an unhealthy situation, turn it off. Turn off the lights. Until one day you realize that you spent your whole entire life building everything else. You spent the whole relationship, right? Helping him become a man that you needed him to be. versus him showing up as a man that you need him to be. Your next relationship should not be your next developmental project. It shouldn't be you determining if you can help him become emotionally available. It should be a relationship where you are able to assess what he is willing to bring to the relationship. There's a whole lot of conversation about what a woman brings to a table. Instead of you taking the moment to say, okay, this is the table. This is what I bring. But let me assess what he brings. Does he have emotional capacity? Is he emotionally intelligent? Does he understand intimacy outside of just sex? Is the only time he's trying to touch me is when he wants to have sex? Is the only time he wants to clean up the house or to do this or be kind to me is when he wants to have sex? When I bring up a need or an issue, does he go silent or does he get curious about what it is that I'm communicating or what it is that I'm saying? Does he minimize or invalidate my needs? Does he tell me what I need is not important? Meanwhile, he makes a demand that he gets everything that he wants, needs, and desire. Do I have to put the needs of my children aside in order to be with him? Does he encourage me to self-abandon? Does he encourage me to self-sacrifice? Or is he encouraging me to be my very best? Does he pour into me so that I can grow? Does this relationship expand me in ways that I never considered? Or do I have to shrink myself in order to be in this relationship? Do I have to abandon myself in order to be in this relationship? Can he be vulnerable with me? Can he manage conflict? Can he communicate? Is he responsible for his own growth? Is he seeking out a therapist and a coach? Who are the men around him? Do the men around him love and adore their women, or do they talk about women? Talk about women being crazy and they want too much. And so he coming to me telling me the complaints that his friend has with his woman versus him coming to me saying, man, I was with the bros and I need to love you harder, girl. I need to go harder for you. My friend right there, he sends his wife. I'm striving to send you flowers every week. He sends his girl flowers every week. Or does he think romance is something that he can't give you? He has to be responsible for himself. Everybody has wounds. Everybody has blind spots. The difference is about, does he own the work that he has? Or is he regulating that work to you or delegating it to you? Because your nervous system pays for being in a relationship in which you have to overfunction. Because every time you overfunction in a relationship, there is a cost. You become hypervigilant. You become anxious. You're monitoring whether he's changing. You're anticipating the problems. You are being the caboose of the relationship. You're the one that's trying to prevent conflict. You're managing his emotions while suppressing your own. You're wondering how he'll react the next time you have to bring something up. You're the one that you're in the home, and if he's upset, now you're upset. You're trying to soothe him. You may even feel pulled between the needs of your children and also him. Meanwhile, he doesn't have to do anything because he knows that you'll do everything. You're carrying him in this relationship. And your nervous system is paying for it. Your health is paying for it. Because you're not selecting a man that you can build with. You're selecting a man that you have to build. I want you to stop asking yourself, can I help him become the man I want? And you need to ask, is he a man that's ready to build with? There's a woman that I saw online who's married to, this is her husband's second marriage. And she talks about how he showed up in his first marriage is very different than how he's showing up now. And this is the thing, a man that's been in relationships before, but he's not willing to accept the lessons of the relationship is not a man that you want to be with. Because that man doesn't understand the consequences of him being in a relationship unhealed. And he is essentially saying that I'm ready to wound you too. That's what he's saying. But when two whole people come together, they're ready to build a home, build a family, build a business, build a legacy, build intimacy, build trust. They're ready to build something that's beautiful, the happily ever after that you've been looking for, wanting, desiring. Many women don't have that. They don't have the fairy tale because you're in relationship and you're choosing men that you have to build before you can build with him. And you may need to schedule a coaching call with me so that I can help you to stop building men and teach you how to assess if he has the capacity for you to build a life with him. Many women I see are spending years building a man before they even are able to have a relationship with him. And that is a difference. If you're new here, I want to invite you, one, to subscribe, also to join the membership, but lastly, to stop feeling the pressure to have to build a man. He should come to the relationship with relationship skills and ready to build with you, to build a life with you. This is Heal the New Sexy. My name is Cynthia.